Now, at the beginning of the year, I made a post that was basically on my blog, Modern Future blog, about the sneakers that I was trying to get in 2020. It's basically a purchase list. And obviously, when you make these lists at the beginning of the year, I did it in December 2019, so it's been almost a year now, maybe a little less. You just don't know all the sneaker releases that are going to come out. And I was trying to keep the purchases down to about 4 to 5 is what I was going for. 4 to 5 has been my year-to-year growth, other than maybe 2018 when I bought quite a few, and then I tapered back, and I'm at like 4 to 5. This year I did a little bit more because something clicked after the Lakers won the championship, what we'll get into here in a second. But let's take a look at this. Scroll all the way up. So this is my original list in 2020. I was pretty hard into the Yeezy stuff, and I wasn't really looking at the Nike stuff. Now, at the the end of 2019, you got to remember what was happening, why I was like really into this Yeezy stuff. It's coming off of, I won't say a 350 high, but like 350s were, I think, at the tail end of their, man, you got to get you all these new colorways with these 350s, got to get some. It's had like the Citrons were out then, and Butters, I think, were that summer. I think when it's November 2019, you get new silhouettes. And it's like, whoa, okay, what is this 700 V3? Now we elevated from the V2s, now we're on V3? Okay, what is this 350 V3? Which turned out to be the 380. But originally it was the 350 V3. I was like, oh, okay. And then we got the basketball sneaker. Oh, the Quantums. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, Yeezy's going in. And I like the look of these. All of them have a much more futuristic feel and design and aesthetic. And that fits right into Ye's old like futuristic flow type thing. He's all in the Akira and anime and stuff that that has come off in his music videos and in his music, and it translates, I think, to his sneakers. Sometimes he goes a little overboard with like the 400s, for example, that were shown off not too long ago that look like marshmallows. But that's the vibe that you kind of get with him. It's futuristic, right? So I had the Quantums on there. I had the Azales or the Alvas. I was really interested in the blacks. Then I had these weren't this year, but I had the Air Fear of God ones, the Oatmeals, the Air Jordan 6 Hair. I saw that and I was like, ooh. And then I wanted some sneaker boots, or some ACGs. So here's the sneaker haul. So the black satins, those came out at the beginning of 2020. I want to say January, and I didn't get them at the beginning. I got them later because the resale for these was way lower than the market. Previously, I copped these off of a trade with Inertias. So I had 700 V2 Inertias. And I know some of you might be like, oh, you parted ways with Inertias, but I really wanted these. These are like, I won't call them, well, they're my grails. They're my grails. I really like Lorenzo's style, especially his collection for clothing. Some of his stuff in 6th and 7th, which at least I want to say in September, I really, really like the look of the 7th. It has a much more, I think this has been how I've been dressing, or close to how I've been dressing for a while. Some of those was like, I wasn't even thinking of stuff like that. So I love that look. The Jordan Zoom 92 Union LAs are another one I copped. I really dig the Union LA collab. Literally took L's on everything else except these. So I was very happy about that. I went for everything. I went for the Jordan Deltas, the off noirs, the Guava Ice on the Jordan 4s. And just L. And we'll talk about some of the L's that I took that were notable. Got the LeBron 18 James game. They're not coming out of the box. You gotta understand. This is what changed my view on the year, was the Lakers winning the championship, and it switched my mode with a few sneakers. And I was going for stuff on it. Like, I was going for stuff, but I wasn't really like trying to secure stuff. There's a difference. And after they won the championship, I thought to myself, man, those dudes been in the bubble for, what was it, almost 100 days. Sports, as we have known it for basically the last 100 years, hasn't really had this type of event which completely changed how, if you look at the NFL right now, games are being canceled, rescheduled. Athletes are, this just happened the other day. Athletes are having to deal with COVID, but there's a collegiate athlete, I want to say his name is Keontae, who passed out on the court. He had COVID during the summer, and all the things, if you've been reading and looking at all the things about COVID, like, this is a risk. And so the fact that the Lakers won the championship in this unprecedented year made these like collector's items. And I think that maybe when we look back like 20 years from now, people will go, oh shit, the LeBron 18s came out the year that COVID hit. I feel like these should skyrocket in value over time, because the significance of the year is just unparalleled. So if there's LeBron 18s, you should be trying to cop them, because this year was nuts. Like, think about it in the context and scope of that. I am not touching my LeBron 18 James, but listen to me. Let me reiterate this one more time. The year of COVID for sneaker releases should be very significant for collectors. Not necessarily resellers, but collectors, because there's never been a year like this for sneaker drops. And if there's something special that came out this year, I feel like the nostalgia, you'll remember what happened when you got these. That's the reasoning behind that. Unprecedented year. Jordan One Mochas. These are like probably the most popular sneakers, the most hype beast sneakers of the year, potentially. It's definitely a top contender. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mochas are like on everybody's top 10 list for the year before we close out. Other ones are Air Jordan 11 Jubilees, which I posted not too long ago. Again, I picked these up thinking about the year. This is 25th anniversary of the 11s. They look great. They also basically shortly thereafter, they announced the Adapt 11s. I'm gonna try my best to get those, but I don't think it's gonna be possible. So that's why I got the Jubilees. I got a how to style video. You're gonna see some more of these coming up soon. And then I got my Yeezy Onyx 380s, but the 380s remind me a little bit of, at least from a color tone, not the design, but just the color palette, thinking about how things are. They remind me of the Travis Scotts. I was talking with my brother about this not too long ago, and I had him on the How to Style, it wasn't style, it was Driving in Style podcast for Modern Future. Not too long, it was like episode 9, I think. But I talked to him about the Onyx, and I asked him if he picks him up, and he said no, but he picks him up for his girlfriend. And I was surprised to hear him say that, but when you look at these, they're not true blacks. They're not. There's like, it's a black, and there's like a shade of gray or blue. And the part that people are kind of hung up on is the upper, it looks purple. It looks like a purplish brown. And so I think that may be like throwing people off a little bit. But if you look at it from a distance, like it's clearly black. As you get closer, you just notice some of the distinct colors in the sneaker. And so this is another one that, for whatever reason, it reminds me a lot of the Mochas. Just the color palette, the colorway, the neutral tones. And so from a pairing standpoint, I feel like a lot of the same outfits that you might wear with the Mochas, you'll probably get away with wearing with the 380s. And so I'm actually really excited to do this, but I'm going to do this in a different style because I only have the 380s and the Aliens. And if they come out with like a triple black, a black on black on black, I will probably get those. I don't think I would get bread colorway in these 380s, but the 380s have been, they're super, super comfortable. They've been my favorite new Yeezy silhouette. Now there's this, what is it called? The 750, I think? 750s. Anyway, it's basically a Air Yeezy 2. I saw those and I was like, oh, I saw those the other day. Since I got the Aliens, have been my favorite sneaker 2019, 2020. So they came out in December 19 is when I copped those, the Aliens, and they've been my favorite sneaker all the way up until now so far. So there's not been really anything else that and it's because of the comfort. Like, you put them on, if you don't have a pair, man, you are completely missing out, because they fixed the toe box issue with the 350s. I like wearing true to size. I hate going up in a size. I know that's like a really trivial thing. You get a 12.5, but the 12.5s, half sizes go so fast. You never can find half sizes. So the fact that I have to go from I could see if I was like 11.5 and I went up to a 12, but I'm a 12 and I go up to 12.5. 12.5s are never in. So it's one of the problems I have with the 350s is I can get a 12, but the toe box is going to pinch my toe a little bit because it's so narrow. And the 380s fix that issue. And that's one of those things where it bothers me. It bothers me. The list, 700 Alvas, which was on my original. I didn't go for them after that and try to get resale. Quantums, didn't go for any of those. Didn't go for the Bariums, just went for the Quantums. Didn't get those. That was like All-Star Weekend. Air Jordan 1 Balvins. I didn't try to get these for myself. Actually, there was like 7 people that tried to get them for someone else. All failed. Jordan 1 Black Metallic Golds. Nope. Jordan 4 off the Union collab LA Off Noirs. The Union LA Off Noirs. Didn't get that. The Guava Ice, didn't get that. Jordan 4 Black Cats, I want to say those came out January 2020, didn't get those. The DMPs, the Jordan 6, nope. Those are those gold and black ones. The Hairs, which were in my list, didn't get those. And then the Off-Whites, both versions, the black and the Sails for the Jordan 5s, didn't cop those. Those were all the sneaker L's I took in 2020 that were of relevance. The rest of them, and I wouldn't mention them, but I took some other L's too. So this year, man, with so many people online, it's just not happening. So kudos to Nike for keeping the folks fiending on sneaker drops, right? Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, subscribe so you guys don't miss any more of my podcast. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.